Drake's new concept ship was revealed less than an hour ago. It's a cargo ship, which begs the question, what's it doing at Invictus, which is a celebration of all things military? Well, turns out that an upcoming variant will also be an assault lander. Confused? Let's take a look. Looking around the ship's going to be a little bit like guessing, because we don't get the specs of this until Drake DefenseCon, which is still a couple of days away. So I can't give you SCU, I can't give you what size the weapons are, and the specifics on what it carries, but we can make some assumptions, and looking at the outside, we can see that there are two main entryways. There's the front ramp, which gives vehicular access. There are also these massive shuttered areas on the top that are going to work wonders for being in space. Now, when I first saw it, the very first image they show in the video, the first thing that struck me was the command pod similarities with the one on the Caterpillar. It almost looks like they're the same, although because it doubles as the life raft, and this thing has 6 crew, I would imagine that it's actually going to be different inside in some way. You can see looking around the ship that it just it has this flying shoebox aesthetic. I like the engines. They very much remind me kind of a Corellian Corvette style engine configuration. They look great. And this command deck area above those shutters, this is not the bridge. It's going to be kind of cargo operations with control for the remote turrets that have the tractor beams on them, and maybe it has control for the other turrets. We're not quite sure yet. Those other turrets, there's one starboard forward on the corner that looks like a manned dual turret, size of gun unknown. There also appears to be another one on the underside at the center line, as you can see in this image here. Again, that looks to be twin. And then on the top of the ship, behind that command deck, there appear to be 2 twin remote turrets. They're certainly not big enough from this image to fit someone inside, but they certainly do look twin. So it's a fair amount of firepower, and I guess that's part of the whole armored freighter idea. Now, as I've said before, we don't know quite what the cargo capacity is, but there are a couple of really interesting features on the interior. The first one being these 2 catwalks that run either side of the cargo area. They seem really, really interesting from that point of view, certainly when it comes to defending your ship on borders and just having that kind of overview over the cargo area. I think that's going to be a really nice touch when this thing's loading and flying around the verse. The second thing that's really interesting to me is this secure cargo area. Now, if you follow those gantries aft, that's towards the back end, for those that don't speak nautical, then you'll find these secure cargo areas, and they're supposed to be gated. They said that they modelled these off of police evidence rooms, so they're a bit more secure, so your really high-value cargo can go into these locations and be just a little bit more of a pain in the backside for your opponent to reach than anything else. I do really like the garage area up front, or aft, I can't quite figure out which way it is, I guess it's aft, where the vehicles can kind of go in and park out of the way of the cargo and not take up that dedicated cargo grid. And I do like the command module and its sighting, where it's looking out over the cargo and giving that really big kind of overview. But, you know, it is very much what we come to expect from Drake. Everything's very utilitarian, everything is very exposed, and there's not really a lot here to be hugely surprised about. Now, I wasn't quite sure when I saw this what on earth a 6-person cargo ship was doing at Invictus. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. I mean, it's never going to be a frontline ship. Clearly, with its armament and the fact that it is basically all they've got to do is paint target down the side, and that's exactly what it is. It's just target practice for other ships. But that really large aperture at the top of the ship, coupled with those 2 remote tractor beam turrets, means that you can come up to something like a hull C or a D with all that external cargo, huge amounts of it, and very quickly between the 2 of you, get that cargo into the ship, without mutually interfering, meaning that by the time enemy reinforcements or security forces turn up to deal with you, you're packed up and gone. And that makes sense to me. So it might not be combat directly, but it certainly is combat adjacent in the same way that the Starfarer Gemini is. And I know you'll be eager to hear about this variant, so let's find out about it direct from the horse's mouth. Sorry, John, didn't mean to call you a horse.
We're also exploring a more military-themed variant of the Ironclad. Compared to the base ship, this has been developed to support ground assault operations. It has additional turrets covering the upper and lower surfaces to provide more fire support. And the front section of the cargo area has been redesigned to enable our largest vehicles in-game to be deployed from it, such as the tank. In addition, the cargo bay has been reduced in size to facilitate an onboard repair facility.
Now, the bit that's really interesting about this variant that they're toying with is the idea that it's a lot more turrets. If you can look here at the front, there are 2 downward-facing turrets that again appear to be remote, so maybe there's an uplifting crew, or maybe we lose the ones off the top, but they appear like that they could be quad. It's kind of a little bit hard to figure out what's going on here to fight, but here you can see very clearly there is a bottom turret as well. I really like the idea of there being a repair bay for vehicles, and the fact this thing looks like it's going to be able to carry 4 Tonks plus 1 in the repair bay so that you have that ability to repair your own forces. This really feels like an amphibious ship or assault ship that they've been missing. What I'd be interested to know moving on is whether or not they give any thought to giving space on board for the tank crews as well, because this would fill a hole that I've been talking about in Star Citizen's kind of planetary assault fleets that have been present for a while. There really has been a gap to bring a large number of troops and their vehicles self-contained into a combat area. Up until now, it's been the Hercules to be able to get them there, and then you need something else for the crews, and then you need something else for the repairs. The Ironclad assault variant really very much looks like it's going to solve that issue, as long as we get some space for the crews. Maybe that's what the command deck will end up being for in that variant. CIG, I'll claim that one if you end up doing it. Now, if you're watching the channel for a while, you know I don't really do buyer's guides and I don't do any recommends. This is very much a horses for courses style ship. You're either going to find immediate use in it or you're not. The assault variant, the space kind of cargo thief variant, whatever it is. But it is interesting that we get another large ship from Drake. And one of the things they said that was really exciting is they said that the development of this ship is really helping in Kraken, which is going to be the first of our dedicated carriers. This is going to be kind of a big step forward in the delivery of that absolutely colossal ship. So really exciting to see. Let me know, is this ship going to go in your fleet? Let me know in the comments. I know you do anyway. Until next time, you've been watching Triggers for Gaming Problems. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'll see you soon.